What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis coming to y'all on the Analysis Playground on YouTube. We're going to talk about the best point guards. I don't go 10 deep. I usually go 5. But since I'm a little late because of some things that happened, I was a little sick and I had some injuries. I'm fixed up a little bit. We're going to go Steph Curry, number 1. Coming off of Finals MVP, finally got the Finals MVP after winning 4 championships. He beat my Celtics. It hurt me because I feel like my Celtics was better and they could win and they had enough, but they were just a little young, a little too, cocky, and they, didn't take it as serious defensively as they did, like they did against the Bucks and like they did against the Miami Heat. But it happens. Hopefully we can win this year. But Steph Curry, Wardell, Stephen Curry is a beast. He can hit the three. He can finish with the layups. He has the floater, a complete package. A guy that has won multiple scoring championships already and multiple MVPs. A guy that's highly efficient. Although the Warriors haven't got off to the greatest start, even losing against Charlotte as the recording of this video on Saturday, Stephen Curry is still definitely the best point guard. It's starting to slip a little bit. But as you get older, as you age, you lose mobility. Teams catch up to you. Teams get used to you. You have to give credit to Steph for being able to adapt, being able to adjust. A lot of people looked at Stephen Curry as a one-trick pony, a guy that can only really just shoot if he has space. He put the handle work in. He put the finishing in. He put the craftiness in. He put the IQ in. And he also mixed it up throughout his career, depending on the personnel. In the season, this team doesn't have as much shooting with Draymond Green and Looney and Wiseman, while also having Andrew Wiggins, who isn't the greatest shooter either. But Steph Curry is still one of the most efficient and effective scorers in the history of the game. We should stop looking at him as the greatest shooter, but as one of the best offensive players and one of the greatest scorers ever, because he has multiple 30-point seasons and he had annihilated defenses. Even that season when they lost in the play-in tournament to Ja Morant, he still annihilated defenses, put up an MVP type season, and a lot of people just didn't see it because the floor spacing was so lackluster, and they were still able to achieve that goal, even though at the end of the day, they didn't have the requisite talent that you'll want around a Stephen Curry team. Ja Morant, number 2, he's going to eventually climb up this list. I didn't see Ja Morant climbing up this list as fast as he did, but you have to give this guy credit. He's electric. He's most improved player. He has the finishing. His mid-range and floater game is tight. His three-point game is still the biggest hole in his game at this point. But when you can go to the basket and you can beat anybody off the dribble and get there as fast as you can, and there's no way to stop it, and he has the acrobaticness in his game to where he can just readjust and apply whatever he needs to do to the air and put it in the basket. It's tough to stop Ja Morant. He's a locomotive. He's a raging bull, and there's nothing you can really do about it. His three-point shooting and his defense is the biggest concerns about his game, and that's the thing that's going to take him to the next level. But he still does need the team to grow with him. Trae Young is number 3. He's still not as efficient as Ja or Steph, and is nowhere near as good as a defender. But as a playmaker, he's better than them, and as a scorer, he's on the same level, just as not as efficient. He struggles scoring in the mid-range and the 3. He gets open shots, just has the touch, but just doesn't have the accuracy that's needed to be elite at his position when it comes to scoring. And like I said, he is small and little and less athletic than both. But he still makes best what was due. Chris Paul, CP3, one of my favorite players ever. Just a guy that has the intellect, knows how to play the game, doesn't cheat the game. The best defender out of all of them, the best playmaker out of all of them, leading the league in assists, and just declined offensively because he has Devin Booker, he has Mikal Bridges, he has Cam Johnson, he has guys like DeAndre Ayton that is their time to shine, but he still was an all-star, still an all-NBA third team in his mid to late 30s, showing you that he can still get it done and be productive and doesn't make excuses, doesn't whine, doesn't complain about, who he has to guard. He just respects his competition, respects the people that he goes against, and he goes hard at them, and they respect him for that. We still would love to see on Analysis Playground, Chris Paul get a championship. Came close against the Bucks, but ultimately fell short. But that run was dynamic and demonstrative by Chris Paul, eliminating a team like the Denver Nuggets, eliminating the Clippers the way that he did, and just coming up short against the Bucks. If he only played like he did in Game 1 and 2 against the Bucks, maybe they will win the series. But you have to give credit to Jrue Holiday for that. Kyrie Irving, to me, Is fifth. Offensive dynamo, a guy that can really get a bucket from all levels, can finish effectively and efficiently from mid range, from three, from floater, push shot, handle, can get whatever he wants on the court, whatever shot that he wants. Has the fadeaway game, has the dunks if he wants to, just prefers not to. Can shoot free throws, can shoot the three ball. Just lackluster defensively and playmaking and IQ wise. This is a guy that really, I call him Irie, really just about himself on the court. Mainly, I feel like the Celtics, he started to improve his playmaking, but with the Nets, they just don't have the care, they just don't have the passion, they just don't have the intensity and the urgency, and it's just a team thing. Maybe because they have Ben Simmons as a guy that brings up the ball and does most of the facilitating, they just want Kyrie to be a scorer on this role. But he goes back to me more a better, more enhanced version of the Cleveland Kyrie that we seen back in the day. He just looks like a better Cleveland Kyrie, a more mature, more smarter, more developed version of the Cleveland Kyrie with the Nets, and that's just not what you want to see. You want to see the complete package from him on every aspect of the game, and you just don't see it. Number 6, I got Jrue Holiday, a great defender, a guy that can get you 18, 5, and 6 or more, improved his three-point shooting so far this season, can really get up in you. He's just not a guy that's a he's more of a team player. He does what the team needs, whether it's defending, whether if it's getting a steal, whether it's getting a block, whether it's making the biggest play, whether it's a lob, alley-oop, the game-sealing plays like we seen last night against Atlanta. He isn't scared and fearless against anybody that he goes against, and he feels like he's one of the best. I just want Jrue Holiday to be back on the All-Star team because I feel like he's been getting the credit as a defensive player, but hasn't been getting the credit as one of the best players in the league by making the All-Star team. And the Bucks have been one of the best teams in the league with and without him, but have been a championship team since he's been acquired. And I think Jrue Holiday should get more credit for that. A lot of players have been speaking up for him. I've been one of the first people to speak up for him, and you're starting to see a lot of people start taking pride in giving Jrue Holiday the proper credit. Number 7, Lamelo Ball. He hasn't played this year, but he was an all-star last year. Still not efficient, but he has improved drastically since playing overseas and playing in the NBA. Hopefully, he can continue to work on his defense, his ball handling, his scoring, his three-point shooting, his mid-range scoring, and just become a more adaptive player. He's not the most athletic, not the craziest guy in the game, but he is a highly bravado, confident guy. He isn't scared of the big moments, ain't scared to make the big plays, and a guy that really wants to make a big impression on people, and that's his biggest strength is his brain and how he plays the game. Fred VanVleet, I have him at number 8. I like what I've seen out of Fred VanVleet, one of the best point guards, another all-star in Cleveland at the guard position. Really takes pride in shooting. Doesn't have the floater game, doesn't have the scoring package, but has been solid at it and doesn't make excuses for his shortcomings in athleticism. Still was able to make the best out of his career. Tailored off a little bit at the end of the season, but it happens, you know. You can't win them all. You can't do everything. Can't have everything. But he has the size. He has a competitive spirit. He is a champion. And he took Kyle Lowry's spot. But he's still showing that they is a playoff team without Kawhi Leonard, without Kyle Lowry. They still got it done and made the playoffs and even made some noise in the playoff against the 76ers. And number 9, I give it to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He is a solid point guard. Just don't have the help. He doesn't make excuses. He goes out there and competes, does what he has to do to win games to the best of his ability. He's a way better version, a way better player than I thought at this point of his career. A 20-point scorer each and every night. Really goes out there and fights. Really goes out there and competes. I really love what I see out of him. And of course, you have Damian Lillard. He was a little injury prone last year. He would obviously be top 5 or top 7, but he's dealing with a lot more injury. He's getting older. He's in his mid-30s. Obviously, I didn't know where to put him. I like Jrue Holiday and guys like Zach LaVine and them. Guys like Fred VanVleet and guys like Shai because they're younger and they are, getting to that point where they're healthier and they're going to play more games and they defend and do a lot of more things better. Dame is an electric scorer. He can shoot the ball. He can handle. He can play make. He can finish, but just not at an elite level. He's good at all those things, just great at scoring, but the injuries just been piling up and he missed majority of the season. It's kind of hard to gauge And already this season, he's already going to miss 2 weeks after only playing 4 games. And I know they had a good start, and Dame was on fire from the 3-point line, but they've been winning games even without Damian Lillard. So it's kind of hard to gauge if he's top 7. Is he better than Jrue Holiday? I think that's even debatable. I would put him at, 7 over LaMelo Ball. I'd rather have Dame than LaMelo Ball, but LaMelo Ball has the upside to be better coming off of All-Star Season 2. Um, this year, Dame is top 75, but that's more career, not current. And he's not a great defender, never has been. So I would put Dame 7th, LaMelo 8th, Shai 9th, and then, Shai 10th, and then LaMelo will be 8th. And then obviously Damian Lillard will bump everybody down. So the list will be Stephen Curry, Ja Morant, Trae Young, Chris Paul, Kyrie, Dame at 6, LaMelo Ball will be at 8, Jrue Holiday at 7, Fred VanFleet 9, and 10 will be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I have it in the comment section below for people that want to know. Other than that, Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, signing out. Let me know what you guys think. And the list will be in the comment section below for people that's confused. It'll help y'all out and help me out too. Other than that, see y'all later. Shooting guards next.